Nation covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And we're learning more about a 14-year-old who was shot to death. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. We're hearing from an eyewitness that told us what happened during the incident. The deadly shooting happened along Bernie Place, southeast, just before 9 o'clock, and that's where we find DC News Now's Lex Juarez. Lex, what have you learned so far this afternoon?
Well, neighbors tell me that the teenager who was shot and killed is the exact same teenager who was shot just 3 weeks ago right here on this very block. Now, the shooting happened just behind me here. You can see a small tribute is already being put up for that teenage boy, and that is new since this morning. Now, neighbors also tell me that this was a drive-by shooting. They say that the boy was in the street and that his mother ran out and tried to pull him to safety, but couldn't because the shooter kept firing at him. Police Chief Conti says that his responding officers worked with paramedics on the scene to keep the boy alive. He was transported to a local hospital where he died. Police believe that this was a targeted attack. The victim was a 9th grader in DC Public Schools. Chief Conti said that our teenagers are victims or suspects in incidents like this far too often.
I'm pleading with community members, if there's information related to why this young man, why somebody thought that a 14-year-old needed to lose his life for whatever the dispute may have been about or whatever the issue may have been, if someone has information about that, we're asking you to call us with that information.
Now, public officials are also speaking out about the violence that specifically involves our youth. Ward 8 Councilmember Trayon White actually took to Instagram to post his reaction with a photo of the boy. He said in part in his caption, quote, "Our children deserve to go outside and be kids." Now, DC police tell me that they will not confirm the name of that victim right now until they have finished notifying all of his family. Of course, as we learn more, we will bring that to you both here and online. Live in Southeast DC, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
Lex, thank you. And that's not the only shooting that DC police are following today. They're investigating a second shooting. We begin at a fire station in Anacostia where just hours ago a man pulled up with several gunshot wounds and was immediately rushed to the hospital. That's where we find DC News Now's Joseph Omo, who was nearby and certainly brings us the latest update. Joseph, you've been on the phone with police. What can you tell us?
Hey, Mark, good afternoon to you. Yeah, lots of stuff to unpack here. So we are at this fire station here in Anacostia, but that's actually not where the shooting happened earlier this morning. Take a look. This is video that we recently took from the scene on Minnesota Avenue Southeast. That is where police tell me that 2 adult men were shot, all of it happening at around 8:30 this morning. Shortly after, that is when one of those men drove a couple blocks up the street to the firehouse where we are right now. You can see the car he pulled up in riddled with several gunshots. Officers tell me that man was shot several times, is in the hospital now, and is expected to be okay. Meanwhile, that second victim, interestingly found on the complete opposite side of the city, found in Navy Yard, which means he had to cross one of the bridges over the Anacostia River to get there. But again, they do say that that shooting that happened on Minnesota Avenue, 2 victims, one of them came to this fire station behind me, the other one made it to Navy Yard. That second one who was picked up in Navy Yard, also taken to the hospital, is expected to be okay after being shot. Mark, at this hour, we're told from police they do not have a suspect or suspects, plural, in custody, and they do not have a lookout at this hour. Reporting here in Anacostia, I'm Joseph Omo. Back to you.
Joseph, thank you. And happening now, fare evasion fines start today. The fines are all across the DMV and DC. The penalty is $50. In Maryland and Virginia, the penalty could be as high as $100. Fare evasion is a criminal offense in Maryland and Virginia, and in the district, procedures are currently put in place that allow the Metro Transit Police Department to enforce civil citations. Now, system-wide, WMATA is working to make Metro more affordable with a low-income fare pilot program and a proposal to provide $100 Smart Trip cards to those who qualify. Meteorologist Damon Matson joins us with a check on the forecast. Damon, it started out foggy this morning, but the sun is finally out to say hi.
Oh, yes, it is, Mark. After a very foggy morning, it took a long time, but we already got the last of that fog finally out of here by 11 a.m. That is when the last of any dense fog advisories were allowed to expire, and some of those locations, like around the D.C. metro and also back toward western Maryland, that saw the most dense fog here this morning, that is finally gone here. And yes, we are breaking back out the sunshine. The fog was the first thing we had to get rid of, and now we're working on getting rid of the last of any cloud cover. And there you have it, those clouds clearing out of D.C. and around the Beltway. We've had plenty of sunshine over the last couple of hours through much of northern Virginia, back through central western Maryland, even the eastern panhandle. But one location that is going to continue to see the clouds under a northwest wind looks like over the mountains back toward Cumberland. We're going to continue to have plenty of cloud cover. But all in all, again, it's looking like we are going to have improving conditions here this afternoon for the first day of November. With that sunshine breaking out, it's going to turn into a pleasantly warm afternoon. Oh yes, we're talking about highs reaching up into the low, if not middle 70s. So get out, enjoy that if you can. Is this a trend we should get used to as we go through the rest of this upcoming week here? We'll let you know in your full forecast in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Developing now, D.C. police are searching for the car on your screen. Officers say the driver stole it with a 5-year-old boy sitting in the back seat. This happened along Columbia Road Northwest yesterday. The little boy was later found safe. Police say they're looking for a lime green Kia Soul. It has Virginia tags that read TVH-9942. You can call Crime Solvers at 202-727-9099 with any information involving the persons or people involved. Well, we continue to follow that car crash yesterday afternoon in Silver Spring that involved a police cruiser and a Metro bus. Police say it started around 2:40 as an armed robbery, and it was at Oak Hill Shopping Center, White Oak Shopping Center, and quickly turned into a police chase. That chase ended near Georgia Avenue and East-West Highway when the suspect's gray minivan crashed into the back of a Metro bus. One of the police cruisers that was following the suspects then crashed into the minivan. 2 men were arrested, and crews had to pull a third suspect out of the minivan. People who saw it happen say it was shocking to see the scene play out.
Going just in the back of a bus, ramming into it's crazy in front of all these people in a populated area like downtown Silver Spring. It's crazy. I saw that they were like pointing guns at the people and all that. I think they were still in the car when they were like getting them and everything.
Yeah, police say they also recovered a gun. No one was seriously hurt. In an update on an ongoing story, a former Michigan police officer will stand trial after fatally shooting a black motorist in the back of the head back in April. Former officer Christopher Shore faces several charges of second-degree murder. The victim was Patrick Leoyu, who ran from a traffic stop before he was shot and killed at point-blank range. Now, according to video from the incident, Shore repeatedly told Leola to not reach for his taser. Trial date has not been set. Well, affirmative action is on the line at colleges and universities across the country. Monday, the Supreme Court heard arguments in 2 major cases where Harvard and the University of North Carolina defended the use of race within their admissions policies. Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson has more.
My identity can never be limited.
Supporters of affirmative action rallied outside of the Supreme Court Monday.
I believe that affirmative action is one way for all of us to be able to tell our stories and our truth.
The High Court heard arguments in 2 pivotal cases from Harvard and the University of North Carolina.
One benefit, one is harmed to the same degree.
In separate arguments, the schools emphasized the practice is necessary to promote diversity on campus. Newly appointed Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first black woman to serve on the High Court, said race is just one of several factors considered by the schools.
When you give your race, you're not getting any special points. It's being treated just on par with other factors in the system.
But Justice Samuel Alito suggested the inclusion of race is innately unfair.
If you give a plus to a person who falls within the category of underrepresented minority, but not to somebody else, you are disadvantaging the latter student.
And that was Rashad Hudson reporting. A ruling on these cases is not expected until the spring. Well, new today, the Montgomery County Council is taking a closer look at laws on concealed carry and firearms near public gatherings. Public Safety Committee outlined a new bill and explained what it could mean for those with concealed firearms. The board heard statements from a senior legislative attorney to outline elements of the bill limiting who can carry a concealed weapon in public areas. The Montgomery County Police Chief also discussed the uptick in concealed carry licenses, addressing who can carry concealed weapons with the new rules in place.
I think it's an important piece about continuing gun education with gun owners. I think that's an important factor that county government should do.
Yeah, the Safety Committee agreed with the police department on the importance of educating gun owners on the specific laws that they're subject to. The committee also wants to create a better system to track gun crimes in Montgomery County.